So give us a little bit about your background, both personally and professionally, prior to starting your current firm.
Yeah, so I grew up in Northern California, the Bay Area, and Sacramento. And I grew up learning about business and real estate from a young age. My dad and mom, they owned real estate, they developed real estate.
Mm.
And so I had a chance to learn the sticks and bricks behind all things real estate. It was during the 1980s, right? It was the MC Hammer days. In fact, MC Hammer had this huge house on the hill. And we'd always look at it as we drove to the job site. And my brother and I would, drive the Bobcat with my dad and hammer nails, move bricks, and kind of just learned a lot about that. So I knew real estate was going to be in my world moving forward. And so fast forward, I went to college, studied business, as well as played some basketball on scholarship, which is a big passion of mine personally, and then had a chance to take an internship at a company called Marcus and Millichap. And so I started to learn the investment underwriting, the cash flow, the negotiations, the way to structure deals and add value, and then started to learn. But it wasn't always easy, right? Because in the very beginning, I was brand new in the business, and the days of real estate with my dad and my mom, everything took a big shift. They got divorced when I was young, so I went from like being with a lot of wealth to like no wealth overnight because my dad didn't really, let's say, pay the child support as he should have, right, to my mom. And so I lived with my mom most of the time, but I knew at a young age that I wanted to have a lot of margin within my finances and I wanted to be successful. So that was the focus. So Marcus and Millichap was the way, big commercial real estate agent, make a lot of money, right? Learned how to underwrite and buy deals. And so I'm working, and it's 2006, and the marketplace is going red hot, right? It's on fire. Things are going great. I start to learn a little bit, start to grow, start to get my business just going because it's 100% sink or swim business, right? There's no benefits, no commission. But I went from making a little bit of money to like nothing overnight. An '08 crash hit. And I looked around going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Go get a real job or continue on? But I was learning and growing so much that I just wanted to keep it going. So I did what every good entrepreneur or commercial real estate broker does when you're faced with a very tough thing. And the tough thing was this: I was now married, baby at home. And so I'm going to my wife and I'm like, honey, like I can either, kind of give up on this initial career dream or we can live with my brother and I can get a side job and hustle. So that's what I did. She's like, well, let's keep this thing going. So I moved with my brother into a small condo and with our first baby daughter, and I started working at Cheesecake Factory on nights and weekends. And so by day I'd make cold calls, but I was going through this financial challenge myself. So were my clients, except on a different level, right? They were fighting with the banks, renegotiating, had too much debt, not enough liquidity, not enough diversification. And by night I'd work Cheesecake Factory to keep the lights on. So I'd be negotiating with banks, helping them out. Along this journey, my manager brings in a gentleman to speak about the Deferred Sales Trust, and that's where everything changed. At that point, I had something that could solve the problems for my clients that they didn't have a couple of years ago, right? Because they felt forced by this 1031 exchange to overpay for property in a very low inventory marketplace, right? Take on too much debt. So I started to apply this strategy, talk to it with people. My listings and my deals started to grow. My influence started to grow. Fast forward 10 years later, I was able to retire from the Cheesecake Factory, right? My wife, we have 5 kids. She's been able to stay home full time with our kids. It's been her passion. And I've been very successful in real estate and this Deferred Sales Trust world.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.